Hello again, Kingston Town Administrator Keith Hickey with the latest edition of This Week in Kingston for the week ending March 7th, 2025. Hope everybody's enjoying some of the warmer weather out there. Some rain last night, but overall, spring is coming quickly, so that's great news. Um, Going to sound like a broken record again today. A lot going on in town budget-wise. Some good updates to let people know about if you don't know already. Kingston School Committee met earlier this week. They have presented a budget that does not need an override. So, so that's great news. The Board of Selectmen will be meeting next Tuesday, the 11th of March, and they'll be discussing a number of things on their agenda. One of those items is going to be whether or not they're going to present a warrant article for an override for the police department. Right now, the police chief is seeking $500,000 for an override, which would fund two police officers and a police sergeant. That number would have to be increased to $575,000 to address the cost needs for benefits for those three new employees. So the override potentially would be $575,000. I would hope the board would discuss and make a final decision on whether they want to present an article at town meeting for that override request. Um, That'll happen on Tuesday. Um, the Finance Committee continues to review budgets. They reviewed the police and fire budget last night, approving all of those. So far, the Finance Committee has approved all the budgets they reviewed. 2 weeks from last night, on the 19th, excuse me, of March, the Finance Committee is going to try to meet with the school committee to have a presentation on their budget that evening, and that will wrap up all the budget reviews through the FinCom. And then ideally, the Finance Committee and the Board of Selectmen will meet at the Board of Selectmen's March 25th meeting to discuss and finalize the warrant articles that have any cash value, the general fund, the water sewer departments, things of that nature, on March 25th. So we'll have a definitive warrant for town meeting. The town meeting again is going to be on April 26th, Saturday, April 26th, and our town elections remain on May 17th. So again, mark those days in your calendar. A lot of important information to consider and participate in and cast your vote on. Speaking of casting votes, there's a number of positions that are on our town ballot this year on the in the May elections, local elections. We have one Board of Selectmen member, two Board of Assessor members, a Planning Board member, a Silver Lake School Committee member, actually two of them, and two Kingston School Committee members, as well as a Water Commissioner, two Board of Health members, two Library Trustees, one sewer commissioner, one recreation commissioner, and two constables. Each of those terms are typically 3 years. The planning board is 5 years. If you're interested and want to have more direct impact on how Kingston moves forward, I'd urge you to consider um, pulling papers for those positions. You can get those papers at the town clerk's office. Um, they are available now. You have to submit those back to the town clerk with the required signatures by end of business on March 28th. So you still have two and a half weeks to get that information into the town clerk, and we'd love to have everybody who's interested in participating and helping out do so. In addition, if you don't want to run for office, there's a number of appointed positions that are available as well. We have all that information on our website. Love to have people participate and sign up and help out. That's how this community and every community functions. So without community involvement, it really puts a challenge on those who have stepped up and are either elected or appointed. So please consider those. There's a number of positions that range from a variety of different boards. So if you have an interest or a specialty you'd like to provide your skill set to for the town, we'd love to have it. Please check out the website. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be happy to direct you in the appropriate direction and help you get through that process if you'd like to do that. Um, So there is a Board of Selectmen meeting next Tuesday night. Again, the biggest topic, at least in my mind, on the agenda is the discussion on the override for the police department. There's also going to be some discussions on renewing there's some shellfish licenses, and some other small items on the agenda. Pretty late agenda, which is nice this time of year. Um, and then the Finance Committee will be meeting, as I mentioned a minute ago, um, in a couple of weeks, to make their start making their final decisions. The Capital Planning Committee meeting is next week as well. They'll be discussing, and hopefully finalizing their capital plans for the town meeting warrant for consideration. Um, Roughly the same amount of money is being requested for capital items, about $1 million on new capital items. For a variety of things, some of which are the town share of grants. We have to have our money available to be eligible to apply for and accept a couple of state grants for some road improvements. So we are proposing that the town consider funding those. So if we are fortunate enough to get that grant, we have our local share already appropriated, and we can move forward with that. There's also some police cruisers and some other miscellaneous equipment as well this year on our capital projects request. So everything is starting to kind of get finalized and put together finally. Um, the board, I assume, will be having some discussions and finalizing their warrant on April 8th for the 26th meeting. Um, and we'll provide as much information on our website and on this show, and the I assume the moderator and I will be doing a town meeting show at some point before April 26th to try to help everybody understand what's on the warrant and why. So when you go to town meeting, you have a better understanding about what's going on, what the requests are for, and you can vote with some background knowledge on what's being requested. Um, so beyond that, we had a couple of trees taken down yesterday in front of the Reed Center, that needed to be taken down because they were rotted. Um, so it does look a little bit different up there now, but we are anticipating on planting some additional trees. The board has asked that we look at some options for parking. That would be a little flatter and a little easier for some people to get from the parking lot into the building at the Adams Center. Frankly, not the Reed building, but the Adams Center. We'll be looking at that and bring something forward to the board at some point. I assume in April, with potential tree planting again in the spring to get those going. So a lot going on. If you have any questions, you want to again want to participate in either an elected position or an appointed position, we'd love to have you participate in that. Please reach out if you have any questions. But for now, that's all I have to say. I hope you guys have a great week, and we'll talk to you again next week. Thanks for watching.